All right, everybody, this is the Think and Review question review over the type 1 diabetes, the apoptosis of the beta cell. So what you have here again is the slide, the questions, and then I have the answers below for you to check. So the first one here is what would happen to the beta cells, the insulin secretion, and blood glucose levels if the following occurred. The first is what would happen to helper T cells if they were blocked from entering the cell. So if you remember that we have helper T cells are going to come in from the immune system, and once they're inside, they're going to act in unison with the APC to produce cytokines. However, without the helper T cells entering the beta cell, they would not be available to stimulate the APC to make cytokines, and therefore steps 4 through 11 will not occur. So essentially you would have no change in the beta cell or insulin secretion or the blood glucose level. So this is the key thing here, is you have not getting the helper T cell into the beta cell itself would not allow for the rest of the steps to occur. What about APC cells produce more cytokines? So what if these produce more cytokines? Well, that would allow for increased cytokines, what will increase more chemokines, or step 6 from occurring. More chemokines then would recruit more of the CD8 pluses from the immune system to come into the beta cell, and they would then produce more chemokines, which would attract more CD8 pluses. So the idea is that you would have more cytokines, more chemokines, and more CD8 pluses. All three of them would act on apoptosis of the beta cell, which would decrease the beta cell, decrease insulin secretion, and increase blood glucose levels, since there would be no insulin to decrease it. What about chemokines were not made by the endothelial layer? So what if you had the chemokines were not made by the endothelial layer? Without chemokines, you would not have the CD8 pluses would not enter the cell, and therefore you would have a reduction in the amount of CD8 pluses coming into the cell. So therefore, reduction in step 6 and steps basically 8 would not occur. And with a reduction in chemokines and CD8 pluses, that would reduce the ability of apoptosis. However, because you still have cytokines that are inside the cell, apoptosis overall would still occur, but it may occur at a slower pace. Remember, you only need to have one of these three, cytokines, chemokines, or the CD8 pluses present in the beta cell for apoptosis to occur. And since cytokines would still be present, you would have a decrease in the beta cells, decrease in insulin secretion, but an increase in blood glucose level. CD8 pluses are blocked from entering the cell. Well, if CD8 pluses are blocked from entering the cell, less CD8s would be coming into the cell. However, apoptosis would still occur because you still have the cytokines and the chemokines to coming in the cell, but which would act upon apoptosis or cause apoptosis of the beta cell. So you'd have a decrease in beta cells, decrease in insulin secretion, but an increase in blood glucose. What if you had a helper T cells are entering the beta cell, but APCs were blocked from entering the beta cell? Well, without the APC entering the beta cell, then there would not be any cytokines being made, and therefore steps 4 through 11 would not occur, and therefore you would not have cytokines, chemokines, or CD8 pluses in the beta cell, and therefore you would not have apoptosis of the beta cell, and you'd have no change in beta cell, insulin secretion, or blood glucose levels. So take a moment, review this again, making sure you have a good understanding of this. Review the video again, because these will help set the stage for you understanding the material for this exam.